In a world where light is more precious than food, a single glowing tooth can feed a monster. Deep below, where sunlight disappears and the ocean becomes pure darkness, predators like anglerfish and viperfish farm pinpricks of living light. These tiny beacons are not just tools for hunting, they are traps that make prey willingly come closer. This is the secret that rewrote the rules of survival in the abyss. How can something so small conquer the darkness? And what happens when evolution arms both predator and prey with new tricks? Below 200 meters, sunlight fades to almost nothing. By 1,000 meters, the ocean is black, a world where every photon is a rare event. In this darkness, vision becomes a game of chance, and the appearance of even a single point of light can mean the difference between life and death. Here, the mesopelagic zone stretches across the globe, a twilight band where the only reliable glow comes from the bodies of living things themselves. Most creatures at these depths, over 90%, produce their own light. They do it not by burning fuel or glowing hot, but through chemistry. A molecule called luciferin reacts with oxygen, catalyzed by an enzyme called luciferase, to emit what scientists call cold light. Nearly all the energy in this reaction becomes visible light, with almost no heat wasted, a process so efficient that it outperforms most human-made lamps. This economy of light shapes everything. In a place where the background is pitch black, even the faintest spark can travel meters, drawing attention from far away. Light here is more than a signal. It is currency. Some animals make it themselves, others borrow it from symbiotic bacteria, but all must spend it wisely. In the deep, each self-made photon stands out like a beacon, turning any glow into a lure, a warning, or an invitation. The physics of darkness gives power to the smallest spark, and every creature must decide, do you make light, hide from it, or use it to hunt? Anglerfish carry their own lantern into the darkness, a single flexible spine called the elysium, jutting from the head and ending in a swollen bulb known as the esker. This is not just a lure, but a living chamber packed with billions of bioluminescent bacteria. The fish itself cannot make light. Instead, it farms these microbes, offering them nutrients and a safe home in exchange for a steady, cold glow. Inside the esker, the bacteria cluster in specialized cavities lined with thin tissue. A layer of guanine crystals acts as a reflector, bouncing every photon outward and focusing the beam, while a sheath of dark pigment blocks stray light from leaking into the anglerfish's own body. The esker's transparent cap shapes the glow into a sharp, bright point, perfect bait for curious prey. The relationship is intimate and precise. Oxygen and nutrients flow in through dense capillaries, feeding the bacterial colony and fueling the luciferin reaction. The fish can adjust blood flow, modulating the brightness of its lure, or even shade the esker with a muscular flap. The bacteria themselves are so specialized that most cannot live outside this tiny chamber, their genomes stripped down for a life spent producing light. Dr. Theodore W. Peach, who spent decades dissecting anglerfish anatomy, described the esker as a biological lamp, a self-sustaining farm maintained by the predator, powered by a microscopic workforce. In the deep, where energy is precious, this partnership allows the anglerfish to shine a light that costs almost nothing, drawing prey ever closer, one photon at a time. A viperfish hangs motionless in the water, its silhouette almost erased in the black. From its back, a single fin ray stretches forward, tipped with a tiny photophore that blinks and pulses with blue-green light. This is no ordinary dorsal spine. It acts as a living lure, held just ahead of a mouth lined with fangs as long as 1/3 of the fish's body. The jaws themselves are hinged, able to swing open nearly 90 degrees, transforming the viperfish's head into a trap that can engulf prey almost as large as itself. The lure is the only light in sight, a pinprick that breaks the monotony of darkness. Small fish and squid, drawn by the promise of food or a possible companion, approach the glowing point. The viperfish keeps perfectly still, letting the lure do the work. Its teeth, needle-sharp and nearly invisible, form a cage around the light. As prey comes closer, the only safe path is straight toward the lure, funneled by the geometry of the jaws. In a sudden flash, the mouth snaps shut, the fangs interlock, and the light is swallowed along with the victim. This is a strategy built for the deep. Invest all energy in a single, irresistible beacon, then wait for the darkness to deliver a meal. The viperfish's design turns light into a weapon, every detail, from the angle of the jaw to the length of each tooth, optimized to make the most of a single point of bioluminescence. A stoplight loose jaw drifts through the black, carrying a secret that most of its neighbors will never notice. Under each eye, a small organ glows, not blue or green, but deep red, a color almost no other fish in these waters can see. This red bioluminescence, measured between 650 and 700 nanometers, acts as a private spotlight. Prey, tuned only to the blue shimmer that dominates the deep, swim unaware through the loose jaw's invisible beam. The predator, with its own custom-built pigments, can see both blue and red, scanning for movement that others miss entirely. Dr. Peter J. Herring was the first to confirm this rare red emission in the late 1970s, using spectrofluorometry to prove that the light was real and not a trick of the equipment. For decades, skeptics doubted the finding, but in vivo measurements settled the debate. The loose jaw's red light is genuine, and it gives the fish an edge that borders on the supernatural. In the ocean's endless night, this is the ultimate stealth technology, a single glowing point that illuminates dinner for the hunter, but leaves the prey in perfect darkness. Inside a laboratory, a single viperfish fang rests beneath a focused blue light. Unlike ordinary teeth, this one barely casts a shadow. Its surface, made of highly mineralized, glass-like dentine, lets photons slip through with almost no scatter or glint. Measurements show less than 0.1% of the light is reflected, so little that even a sensitive camera struggles to detect the tooth at all. In the deep sea, where every stray glimmer can betray a predator, this is more than camouflage. It is physical invisibility. The same principle applies to skin. Patches from anglerfish and dragonfish tested with spectrometers absorb over 99.9% of visible light. Melanin-packed cells and microstructures trap incoming rays, bouncing them internally until nothing escapes. When paired with a glowing lure, the effect is uncanny. Prey see only a single point of light, never the jaws or fangs that surround it. These adaptations are not just clever tricks. They are products of evolutionary pressure, each tweak in transparency or darkness matched by changes in prey sensitivity. In this arms race of light and shadow, survival depends on what remains unseen. Capturing a single point of living light in the deep ocean tests the limits of human technology. Remotely operated vehicles dive for hours through black water, their cameras tuned to pick up the faintest glow. Even with thousands of hours logged, natural lure events like an anglerfish waving its esker or a viperfish flashing its lure appear in less than 1% of dives. Remotely operated vehicle pilots describe the challenge. Slow shutter speeds and red-filtered LEDs are used to avoid startling the animals, but the scene can vanish with the slightest disturbance. One MBARI pilot put it bluntly, "You can spend a week down there and never see a lure in action. When it happens, you hold your breath. Researchers pore over these rare sequences frame by frame, mapping how prey veer toward the light and how predators time their strikes to the millisecond. These glimpses have fueled more than just curiosity. They inspire new technology. The luciferase reaction perfected by deep-sea bacteria is now used in medical diagnostics as a low-energy light source. Engineers mimic the ultra-black coatings of anglerfish skin to absorb stray photons in telescopes and cameras. As Dr. Diva Amon notes, every adaptation we witness, every tooth, every glimmer, reminds us how much remains hidden, and how each discovery shapes both science and conservation. In a world where even a single glow is precious, every recorded encounter is a window into evolution's most secretive workshop. Even now, as scientists adapt deep-sea light tricks for new technology, most of Earth's dark ocean remains unseen. Every pinprick of bioluminescence is both a beacon and a gamble. In a world built on shadows, evolution proves sometimes the smallest light holds the greatest power.